Duchess Meghan walked into the royal family and did everything they did, but 100 times better, and all she asked for was to be treated like family and protected like everyone else was, but instead, the brother-in-law used her as a scapegoat for better PR. Her mental health deteriorated, and they all abandoned her. Wow, supporting one member of the royal family over another misses the point entirely. There should not be a royal family. Okay, 100%. I support the ones who left. I refer to them as their titles because I like to. All of them need to make their own money instead of being paid $400,000 by Parliament to show up and present plaques. Believe me, that $400,000 will go a long way if they go straight to the people. It's almost like everything else. When there's a scam going on, they create a middleman somewhere. All right, in a nutshell, that's it. The royal family is so mediocre, they can handle someone who showed them up in every possible way. All right, it still makes me angry to this day. Don't take it too personally. You either see what it stands for or that's it. But don't take it too personally. All right, you know they are mediocre. So what's, hey, okay, it should have been possible to enjoy no fatherhood, prioritize his wife, and wish his brother happiness in his marriage. Instead, it appears he felt entitled to contribute to the smearing of his new sister-in-law, probably to spite his brother. Sibling rivalry was, that's really sad. Or he could just ignore. All right, there's this. Well said, exactly. I agree, but she's not Duchess Meghan. She's Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. She's also still a princess. Okay, exactly. Beautifully said. In fact, she was driven to near suicide, and they will have all set back, just waiting to put on their mourning clothes and full sorrow. Diana told us what they were like, and she was right. Yep, she told us what her son William was like.
All right, Harry will have all the fun then. No! No, it's all right.
No!
Okay, facts, let's see here. Okay, don't be obtuse. Diana told her experience, and it wasn't far off from Meghan's and what Harry witnessed as a child and as an adult toward the woman he loved. William sided with the institution.
People were, when I say people, I mean friends on my husband's side, were indicating that I was, again, unstable, sick, and should be put in a home of some sort in order to get better.
William sided with the institution,
which played on her fears and fueled paranoia.
William sided with the institution.
As someone, because I hadn't passed any O-levels and taken any A-levels, I was stupid. And I made the grave mistake once of saying to a child I was thick as a plank in order to ease the child's nervousness, of which it did. But that headline went all around the world, and I rather regret saying it.
William sided with the institution. That's obvious, even to someone like you, surely. Facts. Thank you so much for a perfect example of sensationalist poppycock. You'd best be getting up with me and paying me. What did she do 100 times? Well, if you don't know.
And now, it's my great pleasure and privilege to invite Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex, to speak.
Told, been given advice that it would be best if she could be 50% less than she was.
Wow.
That was the quote. If she could be 50% less. And I remember hearing that in 2018 and said specifically to her, I don't know how you're going to survive being half of yourself.
Ulavanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
I've said for a long time to H, it's not enough to just survive something, right? Like, that's not the point of life. You've got to thrive, you've got to feel happy, and I think I really tried to adopt.
The journey of higher education is an incredible, impactful, and pivotal one. I am also fully aware of the challenges of being able to afford this level of schooling for many people around the world, myself included.
The people that we've lost, the people that have been murdered, and I was struck by the the courage that it took, the effortless courage that it took to keep bringing these things forward, which you do. And that brings me to the moment of reckoning. You're not the only powerful woman, even in this community, who has had a sitting president take a shot at you, mobs come at you, powerful people and powerful forces try to take you down or try to disparage your message. This is a tough time for people with power and platforms. What is your best advice for other folks with stakeholders, with a desire to weigh in on the important issues of the day, to take those risks carefully, to assess them correctly, and then to weigh in?
Yes, I mean, I think it's about being authentic. And if you look back at anything that I've said, it's really interesting because it often what ends up being inflammatory, it seems, is people's interpretation of it. But if you listen to what I actually say, it's not controversial. And actually some of it is reactive to things that just haven't happened, which is
perhaps having a distorted view.
In some ways, I think you have to have a sense of humor about it, even though there is quite a bit of gravity, and there can be a lot of danger in a misinterpretation of something that was never there to begin with. I mean, I think that knowing that I've just been here for 3 months, right? And in that amount of time, but with that said, for me, it's very important to, once you hit the ground running, even if you're doing it quietly behind the scenes, which is what I've focused my energy on thus far, is meeting with the right people, meeting with the right organizations behind the scenes quietly, learning as much as I can so that I can maximize the opportunity we have here to really make an impact. I think what's interesting is I hear a lot of people saying, when speaking about girls' empowerment, finding and knowing their worth, or women's empowerment as well, you'll often hear people say, well, you're helping women find their voices. And I fundamentally disagree with that, because women don't need to find a voice. They have a voice, they need to feel empowered to use it, and people need to be encouraged to listen. And I think right now in the climate that we're seeing, so many campaigns, I mean, Me Too and Time's Up, there is no better time than to really continue to shine a light on women feeling empowered and people really helping to support them, men included in that. I mean, it makes such a tremendous difference. So, yeah, just I guess we wait a couple months and then we can hit the ground running. But up until then, I'm pretty excited. Now, equality means that President Paul Kagame of Rwanda, whose country I recently visited as part of my learning mission with UN Women, it means that he is equal to the little girl at the Gihembe refugee camp who is dreaming about being president one day. Equality means that UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon is equal to the young intern at the UN who is dreaming about shaking his hand. It means that a wife is equal to her husband, a sister to her brother. Not better, not worse.
I mean, I think what's going to be really interesting to see now, having this kind of media platform for not just women who are our peers, for example, but for young women who are, I'm always so inspired by these women who are in high school, for example, who are just mobilizing to this next chapter of their life, and they're so engaged and so ready to be the leaders of the next generation. And this kind of content, their ability to be able to not have to seek it out or find it, and it will probably really shape so much in how people are able to mobilize, just having those assets at the tip of their fingers.
Absolutely. I mean, this is more than a cookbook. And what I mean by that is the power of food is more than just the meal itself. It is the story behind it.
I remember being a young girl watching TV and seeing what was happening in the world, and frankly often feeling despair. Because when you continue and constantly see and hear negativity, it can be overwhelming. You can feel powerless and lost. You can feel different, confused, or like you don't belong. And I'm sure that there is a young girl or boy watching this and maybe thinking the exact same thing. So this is for you. In a world that can seem so aggressive, confrontational, and dangerous,
You should know that you have the power to change it.
Record shows he has a history of making false statements to extort settlements. I think I already won, because one of the easiest things to do in a debate is to attack the debater. What do you want? I think you know what I want.
I'd like to apologize for saying what I said to Rachel Zane. I only did what I did because she's my intellectual and ethical superior.
British sensibility of a stiff upper lip.
It has its, it has its advantages, I guess.
I really tried, but I think that what that does internally is probably really damaging. And the biggest thing that I know is that I never thought that this would be easy, but I thought it would be fair. And that's the part that's really hard to reconcile. But I don't know, just to take each day as it comes.
So what is the one message that you really want young women and women in general to just, really focus on as they navigate through life?
Yeah, I think there are a couple things, for me, and I remind myself and my friends of that as well, is that we just need to be kinder to ourselves, truly. If we treated ourselves the way we do our best friend,
or our dogs.
Yeah, or our dogs. For you and I especially, can you imagine how much better off we would be to just say, can sometimes be so judgmental and unkind, and so I think I would never treat my best friend that way. So to treat yourself like you're your own best friend, and to also just try to find a space inside of you that it reminds yourself that yes, you can have questions of self-doubt and that's going to come up, that's human, but at the end of the day, you are enough exactly as you are, I think is really important to remind ourselves of.
We were just waiting for her to come, and she came near me and asked my name and how my day was, how long I was waiting, and I asked her if I could have a hug, and she hugged me back, so that was just quite an amazing moment. I'm still shaking now. I can't really explain what the feeling was when she did it, but it was really nice.
Why did you feel like you wanted to hug her?
Because, I don't know, it just went through my mind, everyone was kind of cheering me on to, and I guess I just felt like I needed to in a way. I just really wanted to at least hug her because I look up to her in some ways, and it just felt like it was the right thing to do.
I feel like she's going through a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's just it's still such a sad thing that is happening now.
Why do you feel a bit of sympathy for her? Just because the Queen's passing, or because of her whole, relationship with the royal family?
I guess in both. So because of the Queen died, and also because of everything. But I did see that. I feel like it was quite nice to see William and Kate and Meghan and Harry together, and it was fine. But yeah, I just wanted to show her that she's welcome here, I guess. I wanted to hug her after everything that's happened really now.
Hey, you want to stand the bubble? That's fine. Everything. That's why y'all can't stand her. Deny all you want. Y'all always eventually admit to it begrudgingly. All right? Keep falling at net, Meg. Okay. Just talking about Meghan. But yet, they still have to find themselves into the conversation to talk their nonsense. Yeah? So create your own post. Go talk about yours. You don't see me posting things about the other one. All right, next tweet.